It's your favorite South Florida realtor, Lucica Suarez, discussing the PACE program. So this video is specifically for my homeowners. Okay, so in Florida, they have something that's called the PACE program, and the PACE program is designed to help homeowners finance the repairing of their roof. Since it's such a costly item, a lot of times homeowners don't have it in their savings, and if your roof is coming of age, or if you have an older home, you can have temporary insurance on there, but then they'll send you these little nasty letters saying, hey, you better change your roof or we're gonna drop you. And so because of that, a lot of people will look to finance it. And there's pros, of course, there's pros and cons to everything. So the pros of the PACE program is one, it's almost like 100% financing regardless, because they'll put a lien on your home, which we'll talk about in a second. I'll go more into details. So they will put a lien on your home, so it's not really tied to your credit, it's tied to the property. So if you're in a situation where you're getting those threatening letters, hey, we're gonna drop your insurance and you have to be forced insurance and yada yada, it's just not a good place to be in. And then the second pro is the fact that it does avoid you having forced insurance. Forced insurance is when your regular insurance drops you, and your mortgage, if you have a mortgage on your home, which is many of us have a mortgage on their home, then the mortgage department actually forces you to have insurance. And forced insurance is extremely expensive. It sometimes is pretty much doubles your monthly payment. With that being said, that could also lead to, getting behind on payments and ultimately to foreclosure, which is not where you want to be. So that's a pro. It does avoid that, that forced insurance that could have a financial strain on families and create a bigger situation. So literally, in my humble opinion, those are the only two pros. Now the cons, like I said before, it's a lien on your property, which isn't necessarily, the end of the world if you plan to stay in your property, if you plan to keep your property. But the horrible thing about that is if you get ready to sell, that means you have to, direct the title company, hey, this is your proceeds are going to pay off this amount, and whatever's left over of the sale of your home, then of course you would get the remainder. But, it's not a free and clear title until that lien is taken care of. So with that being said, that's why it's kind of like almost impossible not to get financed, because it's tied to the property, not necessarily to your credit. The other thing is your taxes dramatically increase. So the payments are done through your taxes. And sometimes it could add on, it's an additional $400, $300, $300 to $400 to your monthly payment every single month, because it comes through an assessment. Again, it's not tied to your credit, it's tied to your home. So that's how they get their money back. And the other thing is, it is astronomically more expensive to do it that way, because you're funding, and they tack on, because it's almost like a guaranteed program that is through the state. It actually, the companies take full advantage, and they you have your interest rates, and then they jack up the prices of the roofs and things of that nature, because it's kind of like guaranteed money. So that is another con. And this is just a little sidebar. Sometimes companies send people to your home, and they knock on the door, and they encourage the PACE. So you think these individuals are from the PACE program, but they're not, because PACE does not send people out. They don't have salespeople or anything like that. They don't do that. It's actually roofing companies that actually use the PACE program, say, hey, we have this program, and we're going to, help you get a new roof, or whatever the case may be. And they, of course, sell you the pie in the sky dreams. Okay. The old adage, if it's too good to be true, then it is. Because in this situation, it definitely, they have really good salespeople. And so they take advantage of people being stuck in a situation. So just want to make sure, like, if you are going to use a PACE program, be very, very careful, ask questions, look at the fine print, because the interest rates on those loans are extremely high. And then they delay the payment, the assessment, for like a year. So next year it comes up, it hits you, you're like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? And so you just got to be very, very careful. If there's other ways for you to finance your roof, for you to keep your insurance, then I would say do that. But if not, then, you have to do what you got to do to make sure your family still has shelter. I get that. People are stuck in this high inflation and a lot of uncertainty going on. I completely understand why someone would turn to PACE, because they want to make sure they have security. But look into your local municipalities. Oftentimes, I know Broward and Palm Beach County, they have, in those little small municipalities, they do have, especially here in Delaware, they do have programs that will help you with your roof. They also will find partners where they will work with you and get those. So exercise all of your options first before you go to PACE, because PACE should be your last resort. But just want to let you know about PACE program. Let me know what you think. Are you somebody who has a PACE program, PACE loan, or assessment, whatever the case may be? Tell me what you think. And if you want to hear, have any questions about any other programs in Florida, South Florida specifically, because I don't know about Jacksonville, although I love Jacksonville.